Evening everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today is the Benetton B198 from the 1998 Formula One World Championship, and in the car is Alexander Wurz. Now the Benetton team went into 1998 as, I would say, the third best car, or with the third best car. They were slightly ahead of Williams going into the season, but still sort of leaps and bounds miles behind McLaren and Ferrari, at least at the beginning of the year. The team went into 1998 with two new drivers, Fisichella and Alexander Wurz, two very young drivers, very proven drivers though, although slightly inexperienced and accident prone. Fisichella had just come from Jordan and had scored two second places throughout the season, and Alexander Wurz also scored a podium in his first three races for the team in 1997, standing in for Gerhard Berger. So the team was lined up for a relatively good season. The pre-season, the car seemed alright, I'd say. I can't really say much more than that. History is a bit sketchy on that one, I'm afraid. But the car seemed pretty competitive, although no points. I don't think there were any points scored in the first race of the season. But the team were competent enough to score 32 points in the first 9 races of the season, up to the British Grand Prix, and that's only 2 points less than they scored in 1997 at that point. So they're doing all right. You know, podiums were there, and Alexander Wurz was very much a proven fourth place finisher in a good variety of races. Just even though he still finished fourth in the Canadian Grand Prix, even though he barrel rolled at the first start. He got a good start, but made a mistake, flipped over Jean Sauber, and then barrel rolled through the gravel trap. The race was stopped, and then he went on to finish fourth in the spare car, which is not bad. You wouldn't get that today. But yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, he was a proven fourth place finisher. Fisichella, on the other hand, had also scored 2 podiums. He had finished second in Monaco, then finished second again in the Canadian Grand Prix, the same race as one just mentioned. But he could have won the race though, but for gearbox trouble and Michael Schumacher hunting him down, took the lead and won the race. The chaotic Canadian Grand Prix, I think everyone remembers that one. So going up to the British Grand Prix, like I said, he has scored 32 points. At the next race, a chaotic wet qualifying session at the Austrian Grand Prix led to a pole position, and Fisichella's first pole position in his career. And sadly it all came to zero as he collided with Jean Alesi just after the first round of pit stops, I think, and took himself and Alesi out the race. A silly mistake really. He should have just eased back a bit and let Alesi take the corner, but he sort of just went up the inside and didn't yield and broke his suspension, spinning Alesi around as well, who eventually stalled as well. So that was that. So there were 32 points going into Austria, but they wouldn't score another point until the final race of the year. So that was 7 races with 7 races and only 1 point scored. So that just shows you how the development race of the Benetton just stopped throughout 1998. And it kind of carried on really. I think once 1999 started, it's clear to see that the team, and especially the Benetton owners, the Benetton family, were no longer interested in Formula One. The motivation just wasn't there, and they carried on building mid-range, non-competitive cars, semi-competitive cars I'd say, throughout 99, 2000, and then the debacle of 2001 with the Renault engine, until the eventual sale to Renault. And of course it would be a little while before they'd be back to winning ways, but the Renault name has stayed on in different guises. But the team is still there, which is all good, but the Benetton name really wasn't the same after Michael Schumacher left. But hey ho, that's the way things go. But yeah, 1998 was a lot going for it, but just didn't have the momentum. And eventually Benetton were third at the halfway point of the season in the Constructors' Championship. At the final race they dropped to 5th, so that's pretty much sealed it for them. They had already finished 6th in 1999, but back up to 4th in 2000, but only because the midfield has sort of become staggered. But that was pretty much it for Benetton, and that's it for the car. So what we're going to do now is move on to the model, and it's a 1/18 scale of course, and my back's gone to sleep. Not really good. So a quick look at the car. The beautiful blue on this car is amazing. I really do like this car, and I must say this is my favourite car of the era, from say 99 or 98 really, the first of the narrow track cars, to about 2003, 2004. This is my favourite car of the era. The beautiful blue on it, the traditional Benetton nose, and it's also a simple livery as well. I mean, there's no fancy colours or anything like that. It's just a very simple two-tone blue, dark blue, light blue, and white along the side. That's really all you need for a Benetton, really. Pardon me. So a quick look around the car. Of course, it's a 4-groove front, no, 4 grooves back, 3 grooves front tyres, the first of the groove tyre era. And a lot of people will say that it's not the era they remember most fondly, but personally I think it's a great era. It did slow the cars down much. They did look a bit weird after a couple of years, but 1998 I think they looked amazing. So a quick look around. We'll start with the cockpit actually. We'll turn the car around and we'll start with the cockpit and the very highly painted steering wheel. Plenty of detail there, plenty of detail on the steering wheel. A bit of dust as well. I don't know why it's dusty, because it's been in a box all its life. So got plenty of detail on the steering wheel there, and also around the driver as well. Plenty of detail on the driver's suit there, or decals rather. And that's that. So look around the nose now. So we'll just tip the car down and go from the front. So you've got the wide chassis there, and I do apologise for the light. I mean, it's midsummer and it's boiling hot outside, but the light, it just isn't working today. But there's the front of the chassis. Very wide nose, very traditional of Benetton. And a beautiful looking car it is. So you can see the narrow track as well. It's not hugely obvious, the narrow track. This is sort of later years, the narrow track, where the car's got longer, the narrow track sort of got a bit more obvious, but beautiful car nonetheless. Now we'll turn around, we'll go from the back end. So you've got the very elegant back end of the Benetton. You've got the swooping rear or lower wing on the Benetton there. Of course, traditional with Benettons at the time, the swooping lower wing element there. Very nice car it is. I really do love this car. I do like my Benettons. Also the name's pretty cool as well, you know, Benetton. Can't go wrong with that. Also using the Benetton, or not Benetton, but the Playlife engine, which is basically a Mechachrome engine. I should have mentioned that as well. It's using the Mechachrome Renault engine, or old Renault engine rebadged as Mechachrome. Of course Mechachrome still build the Renault engines today, but just not with the Renault backing. So yeah, the engine was renamed Playlife. In terms of sponsorship for the Benetton, so that's what Playlife is all about. And yeah, that's that. So a quick look around the car again. I can't really do much looking at this car. I mean, there's not much detail to look at. I mean, it's such a plain, simple car, and the cars could follow each other those days. We'll look at have a look at the wheels. Have a look at them. Very nice. There they are too. The spokes on the spokes, barge boards. Very simple barge boards as well. They're more like tongues on the side with little wings on. So that's that. Got the FedEx on the side. Bit of dust on the top, which is annoying, and the light really isn't doing the colours justice. I mean, it's a really nice blue, two-tone blue, but you know, there we go. The car really needs to clean as well. It's got a bit, I don't know, it's greasy or whatever. It may have been the previous owner. They don't take it out the box very often. And very nice car there. I think from any angle this car is nice. And of course it's a mild 7 sponsored car, but no tobacco decals on the car. I would try and update them with, you know, proper mild 7, but I think having to remove the old ones is a bit risky for me, so I will not be doing that. And I have one more look around the side, around the front, and it's an absolute beauty, this car. Really do love it. It's very similar as well to the next car is very similar to this car, I should say. I mean, we've got the Benetton B199 up on the shelf behind me, and very similar in appearance, but there's more colours on that car. I mean, from 94 to 97, you had on the back of the car, you had the coloured stripes going either up the front, from back to front, or side to side, with the colours. The Benetton B198 did not have that, so very clean, elegant paintwork on the back there. And then in 99, they brought back the coloured stripes, the red, yellow, green, blue stripes. So that's for 99, and they also had it for 2000 as well. But they dropped it again in 2001, where they went for an all blue, single tone blue. So very unusual colour schemes for this car, and it just sort of breaks away from traditional Benetton colours. They didn't go really radical with it, just a really simple design. But overall, very nice model as well. We'll have a quick look underneath as well, because I normally do that. So we'll tip the car over and thud there. So we've got to start at the front wing, simple front wing underneath there, and the 2 pillar points there, the blue colour scheme there. Got the 118 badge there, Benetton Playlife B198 there from 1998, and you've got the Paul's model art up there, and you've got the detail around the diffuser. The diffuser, once again, very simple as well, but it does the job beautifully. And it's a very effective design. Well, not in real life, but effective to look good on a shelf or in a box or whatever. I mean, it's a very nice, beautiful looking car, and it's not particularly rare, I don't think. hard to say really. I mean, you can get this car in the 198 form, which is this one, and you can also get it as the 199 show car, which is basically this model but in a 1999 colour scheme, as you know, the Playlife one. The way of telling the difference between the show car and the race car for 99 is on the 99 car it had Playlife written on the side there, upside down, or however way they arrange it, the Playlife logo. On the show car the Playlife is written in red. So if you see it in red, you know it's this model rather than the 199 car. So the 199 car is written in black. So the show car's red, race car's black. So if you're going for the 199, make sure you pick up the black writing rather than the red writing. Otherwise you'll end up with a show car. I'm not against show cars. I mean, they're quite good looking, and some of them are good for parts. But if you want the proper race car, there you go. I mean, show cars are not really real things. I mean, a show car is used at the Goodwood Festival of Speed and other demos. That's really all a show car is used for. It's an old car with a modern livery, and that's just promotional stuff. And a lot of them didn't really exist either, so you know it's just cash in really. And they're still doing it today. I mean, they're still releasing 2017 cars with a bloody halo on it, so you know it gives you an idea what cash ins are all about. I mean, I will admit some cars are very similar to the previous years, and they can pull it off, but you know, it's not fraud, but it's not honest, is it? You know, it's cashing in on other things, so that's that. But price-wise for this car, I'm not really sure what to say about it. I mean, you can probably pick it up for about £20. If you're looking on eBay, you probably pick it up for £20. I think if you go to somewhere like CK Models, it may be a bit more expensive. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a rare model. I wouldn't say it's overly common either. So. Yeah, and also I will admit that there's also another show car as well. There's a 1997 Benetton B197 in this livery, so that's another thing you've got to look out for. Of course, the 97 car was wide track slick tyres, or wide track anyway. So the show car's going to have wide track, but it still have grooved tyres on it. But the way to tell the difference between that and this one is the barge boards. If you look at it from the box, the barge boards on this one are like on the tongues. You say they stick out the side. And they're on sort of small plinths, and there's a very small barge board. On the B197 show car, the barge board is really big. I haven't got the 97 car to hand at the moment, but the barge boards on the 97 car are really big, so or bigger than that. So that's a way of telling the difference between the race car and the show car. So it's labelled B197 on the bottom as well. So that's what that's all about. So geez, this camera is really hot. I don't know if the battery is starting to go again, but hope not. Yeah, so that is the Benetton B198, and I would recommend this one. It's an absolute beauty of a car. It sits nicely on the shelf, it sits nicely on the desk, it sits nicely anyway really, because it's such a nice blue colour scheme, and I really would recommend it. It's such a shame it wasn't as successful as it looked. You know, it started off a fast car, competent car, his third best car, but quickly fell off once development stopped, and that was that really. It's sort of the end of the line for Benetton really. Their last hurrah really was 1998. Sort of proving that they're a competent car, but 99 and 2000 and then 2001 were just sort of very thin years for their their development race and enthusiasm. It wasn't until Renault took them over again that things just picked up again, but those days are long gone as well. Maybe 2018 or 2019 may be different, who knows, I doubt it. But you know, it's the way things go, and that's Formula One. But there we go. But anyway, that's the Benetton B198 there. Behind we got a few others. We've done this one here, but the S.p.A 001 for 99. Already done a review of that one. Very nice car. Down here we got the BMW F107 from 2007. I think I've not done a review of that one. I don't think. I also still got the price tag on it of £49.95, 50 quid if you like. Bought that at Goodwood about 5 years ago. Over here we've got the Sauber C15 from 1996, also a very nice car as well. Shame about the box being a bit shitty though, but that's no big deal. And also we've got the Ferrari F310 from 1996, already done a review of that one as well. And above that we've got the BAR 002 from 2000, also done a review of that one. So we've got plenty of cars still to do though, but most of these ones are already done, so that's that. But I think we'll call it a day there now. So that is Benetton B198, and yeah, that's that. So this is Rich signing off, logging off, disappearing, and I shall return with another video. So bye for now.